So the topic is how to uh, make a right club selection, right? So always remember the accuracy of your shots highly depends upon your accurate club selection. Okay, so sometimes uh, uh, even if how good you are as a uh, how good you are as a ball striker, it doesn't matter if you are a good ball striker, if you are a long hitter, if you are or if you are an accurate hitter. But also important that how good you are in making the selection of your club. Okay, for a particular shot. So whenever we play at the golf course, every shot require a club selection. Okay, so club selection is what club do you pick out of your bag out of given 14 choices. So we keep 14 clubs in a bag. So out of them, uh, which club do we choose correctly, rightly for the given situation? So that is right club selection. Okay, so what are the factors that make us do the right choice of the club? Okay, so it can be it can be the lie of the ball, how the ball is lying on the ground. Is it a good lie or a bad lie? It can be the surface of the fairway. It can be the weather, how the weather is playing. What is the role of weather on that day? The wind condition. Okay, so there are few factors I will discuss one by one. Okay, then okay. So first, let's start with how do we select the club. Okay, so first, suppose you are playing a shot. So what are the primary thing you will see to select a club? First, the lie of the okay. If you are playing, if you are teeing off, right, suppose you are on the first hole and you are starting off your game, you are teeing off. So there, you have to decide whether you want to play driver or you want to start with uh, three wood or rescue. That it is not always necessary that you tee off with a driver. Okay, you can tee off with an iron also. Depends upon how much accurate you are with a club. Okay, sometimes some player do have a good control on their wood, like three wood or five wood. Some players do have a good control with driver. So also the design of the golf course, how the golf course is designed, how the fairway is designed, that design of the particular hole also mm, uh, forces you to do the right club selection. Okay, so if the fairway is too narrow on a particular golf course and there is a OB on the right side of the hole, right side of the fairway. Okay, so what will happen? You will obviously won't take the risk of playing with a club which cannot be controlled easily. So obviously a longer club, suppose driver. Driver is the longest club in the bag. So it is difficult to control driver as compared to a rescue or a three wood or any iron. So you have to think wisely that with club is going to give you the best result. With club is going to help you in avoiding the risk. Okay, so if there is an OB on right side of the fairway and you are playing the shot, so you have to see if you are too good enough with driver to or you are good enough to control the driver, then go for driver. Otherwise, you can go for three wood, rescue, or for that matter, iron also. longer iron, like 5 iron, 4 iron. But you guys are not playing with 5 iron, 4 iron, but out of driver or wood, you can make a choice. Okay. So it is important to keep the ball in play. Okay. So the next shot will be easier for you. Okay. So this is we have talked about making the selection between the driver and the wood. Then when we go to the fairway, now again there are few things. Okay. Now you are trying to approach the green. What are the things which will counter to play that shot? There will be the lie of the shot. There will be the wind. Okay. There will be the wind. Then these are the two primary things. Then the surface of the fairway, the surface of the ground, or suppose if it is a very hard surface ground fairway, then the club selection will be different. But if it is a soft fairway, the club selection might be different. Okay, that also depends. So suppose you are playing an approach shot, you are trying to hit the ball. The next shot you are trying to hit it on the green. Okay. So now what will be the club selection? First you will see what is the wind. If it is a headwind or it is a tailwind. If it is a headwind, you suppose you are hitting a distance of 150 yards. Okay. If I talk about myself, so 150 yard, for 150 yard, I pick 8 iron. But if the wind is too much against me, then I will pick 7 iron. Okay, one club upper. I mean, the club will give more distance. Okay, so that I can encounter the wind. Okay, so I can encounter with the wind. So the club selection will be one club higher if I will play against the wind. If I'm playing with the wind, the wind is coming from behind. Okay, then my club selection will be what? One club lower. One club lower means if I play 8 iron for 150, now because the wind is in favor, okay, the wind is favorable, so it will become a 140 yard shot. So I will use 9 iron. So like this, I will make a club selection according to the wind. Now, what I see, suppose if my ball had landed into the rough, okay, so rough is a bigger grass, okay. So in that situation, what is important? Because in the rough, when you play the shot, the ball does not spin much. It comes out like a flyer. Flyer means, and the ball does not spin too much, but it immediately comes out of the rough. And when it lands on the ground, it starts rolling a lot. Okay. It sometimes happens at the golf course. Sometimes happen you have played a fantastic shot, but still you don't get the ball at the place where you want to, where you desire to keep the ball, and you end up hitting the ball somewhere else. Sometimes why that happens? Because sometimes you have not made a right club selection. Okay. Suppose you are playing a hole on a par 3. On a par 3, you are hitting 150 yard distance, and the wind is against you. For 150 yard, till you have selected 8 iron instead of one club higher, and you have hit with the normal club. You generally hit for 150 yard, and there is a tank between the green and the tee off, and you end up hitting the ball into the tank even after having a good strike, even after hitting it into the right direction, but still you end up hitting the ball into the turn. Why that? Because you have made the wrong club selection. So always make sure what is important. Important is keeping the ball in the right area. Okay, we don't want to lose that stroke. So never take it on yourself that you hit 150 yard with 8 iron. So everywhere at the golf course you will pick 8 iron. Okay, for you for to hit 150 yard you might play with uh, wood, okay, or a rescue. So if I am talking about myself, I play 8 iron, but according to situation, I will use the different club. Okay. So now, okay, I was talking about rough. So I'm hitting 150 yard again, but the ball is in rough. So now, and I know if I will have a good contact with the ball, still the ball will not spin much to stop it on the green. Okay. So what will I do? I would like to take a club which will stop the ball as early as possible. I won't like to play a shot where I get the ball, keep on running, and I miss the green. Okay. So in that situation, if I hit 150 yard with 8 iron, I will choose uh, I will choose 9 iron, so that ball will shorter will be the club, more the ball will stop, right? Longer will be the club, the spin of the ball will be lesser. So now again the situation is I am playing from the rough. I know the ball will travel too hard. Okay, it will come out too hard and it will not stop. So obviously I have to take one club shorter. But the situation is, the wind is also against me. So now the wind is against me. Okay, plus the ball is in the rough. Okay, so there is a contradiction in two situations. One situation is saying the ball will travel fast because of rough, but the another situation is saying the ball will be rejected by the uh, unfavorable wind or headwind. So now these situations are contradicting each other. So in this situation, I can play with the club which I generally play with. So I will take 8 iron. So this will be my club selection according to the keeping in consideration the two situations. Okay. So as you will as much you will keep on playing, as much you will keep playing at the golf course, you will encounter with different kind of situation, and every situation will make you select the right club for the shot. Okay, every shot will require a club selection, I'm telling you. And again I'm repeating, an accurate shot requires an accurate club selection. Okay, so club selection should not be compromised. So you can practice club selection at the driving range also. Okay, by playing different kind of shot. Okay, now again there is a situation. Okay, club selection is not only for a normal shot, but some special shots, like suppose you are playing the shot where you have to hit the shot under the tree. Okay, the ball is sitting under the tree, and you have to come out of that situation. You have to hit under the tree below. You have to keep the ball low. Okay, so when you are keeping the ball low, so what will be the club selection? Obviously, you will choose a club which does not have too high loft. Okay, so if the loft will be too high of a club, the ball will hit the tree. So you want to hit the ball with ball, under the with travel below the tree and comes out easily. So you will play a club which has higher loft. Lower loft. Lower loft means you can play with 5 iron or 6 iron rather than playing with 9 iron, 8 iron. Okay. So the club selection depends upon what what will be the trajectory of the ball. Okay, what kind of trajectory you want to keep, or what kind of ball flight you want to keep. Do you want to keep a low ball flight or a high ball flight? So, okay, someone has entered.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So, again, I was talking about uh, uh, right club selection. So, club selection depends upon uh, what kind of wind is there. Okay, if it is a headwind or unfavorable wind or a tailwind. Okay, then comes where the ball is lying. Is it on the is it a good lie or a bad lie? Like if you are playing from a rough, the club selection will be different. If you are playing from the fairway, the club selection will be different. Okay, suppose you are hitting you have got to hit a very long shot, like 230 yard, 240 yard ka shot, but the ball is in big rough. Okay, if the ball is in a rough, suppose the rough is around 2 inches longer. Okay, 2 inches long rough, and the ball is sitting inside the rough. So, is it good to play with 3 wood or not? Obviously not, because when you play from a rough which is too big or which is too long, it is very difficult to play a club which is very long, like 3 wood, like rescue. So it will be always good to play the ball in to lay the shot, or to play the shot in a to play the shot in such a way that it comes out the rough easily, and it gives you that much enough distance that after that you can hit your next shot easily. Okay, so suppose I am playing from a rough which is too big, but I have got to hit around 250 yards. So rather than playing a longer club like 4 iron or any longer club like hybrid rescue or 3 wood, rather than playing them, I will try to go with 8 iron or 7 iron. Okay, the club which helped me to come out of the rough easily and hit the ball in an area which is safe enough for me. Okay, so here also you are making a club selection. So club selection should be made keeping in mind that you need to save your shot. Okay, every shot should be safe for you. Okay, it should not the club selection uh, should not prove dangerous for you ultimately, or it should not prove costing you an extra shot or 2 extra shots. So club selection should be made in such a way that you are going to approach. Okay, you are playing aggressively, but still it does not uh, put you in any trouble, right? So there you should figure out you should identify you should analyze the situation properly and then make the club selection. So situation can be from what kind of live you are playing, what is the wind. Okay, if you want to hit the ball high or low. Okay, so these are the things where club selection matters. And uh, and suppose uh, you are playing you are playing a hole uh, where where you have found that when you are hitting the green, when you are approaching the green, there is a big, bunker before the green. So what will be the good idea to play the shot? Would you go for a shot with ball low in the air, or you would go for a shot with ball high in the air? Okay. So because you want to avoid the bunker which comes between you and between in between the shot. Okay. So if you are approaching the green and there is a bunker in between, just before the green. So to cross that bunker and stop the ball on the green, what will be a club selection? The club selection will be, obviously the club selection won't be uh, a club with gold low, and after landing on the ground it roll more. Obviously not that one. You will select a club which will go high, it crosses the bunker, land on the green, and stop as early as possible after touching the ground. Right? So this is also a condition. So I have told you that design of the golf course, the design of a particular hole also make you do the club selection. Okay, it depends upon what kind of shot you are going to play, and how and what, but you must figure out what type of shot is going to help you. Okay, maybe it's not necessary that you hit the ball on the green. You can play shorter than the bunker also. Okay, so if you have got the shot, it is too long. Suppose 180 yards ka shot. Okay, and you feel that you won't be able to carry the ball up to 180 yards. Okay, and there is a bunker also in between. So what can you do? You can play to an area. You can play, or you can land the ball in an area which gets you closer to the hole, but you don't end up landing into the bunker. So you will take a club which make you fall shorter than the bunker. Okay, so you will hit just before the bunker, and then will try to make chip and putt. You can do that also. It depends how good you are in hitting an approach shot. Depend how good you are in ball striking. Depend what type of shot you want to play in a given situation. So there the club selection matters. Wait a second, huh? Just wait. Yeah. Okay. Now the thing is, okay, I have talked about the light. In light there is one more. There are couple of other types of lies also. Okay, we have talked about the good lie or a bad lie. Wait, huh? This light behind me is disturbing. Yeah. So now we will talk about the other kind of lie. We have talked about good lie or a bad lie. Okay. Good lie means if the ball is sitting nicely on the fairway, that is a very good lie. Okay, there you can play a regular club. You can choose a regular club which you play. Okay, if the ball is in rough, it is not a good lie. If the ball is in divot, if the ball is in divot, sitting in the divot, it is obviously not a good lie. So whenever the ball is not in a good lie. So if the ball is sitting on some hard surface, there on hard surface you cannot play with the club which had too high loft. You have to play the club which had lower loft. Okay. because if the lie, if on a hard lie, if you will play with a high lofted club, the club will bounce off the ground and you can hit on the top of the ball. So always remember, hard on a hard lie, on a hard surface, the club selection will be slightly high lofted club rather than low lofted club. Oh, sorry, low lofted club rather than high lofted club. So if you are looking to play a shot, uh, if you are looking to play a shot which requires 9 iron, but the surface is too hard. So in that situation, you play a slightly lower lofted club like 8 iron or 7 iron, but don't go for 9 iron. Okay, to play 8 iron easily, that you don't overhit your shot or cross the green or you surpass the distance you are looking to hit. So play it easily, but take a slightly lower lofted club. Okay, so this is the club selection again when you have to when you are playing from a hard lie, and suppose you get to play from a very soft lie. So in a soft lie, you don't require a low lofted club, but a high lofted on general club what you play, okay, will be helpful. So in this lie also you make a club selection. Then the other kind of lie, if the ball is on a uphill, okay, if a ball is on a uphill and you are playing like this, when you are standing on the ground, your feet are like this, okay, your right shoulder is tilting down, okay, tilting this side, and you are playing the ball in upward swing. So what will happen? The ball will go too high in a in this kind of lie. Okay, the lie is this. Okay, so in this kind of lie, where you have to stand like this, tilt it slightly towards the right, or if you are left-handed, tilt it slightly towards the left. Okay, so in this kind of situation, the ball tends to go high. In uphill lie, ball goes high. So we want to avoid to go too high. What will we do? We will do we will try to play ball little lower. So the club selection will be a club which has low loft. Suppose I am playing a shot which requires 9 iron, but the ball is on uphill. So that 9 iron will behave like a pitching wedge. So the ball will go and take an extra height, but I don't want to hit too high. Okay, because that can cut the distance also. Okay, so in that situation, what is required? I will play a lower lofted club, one club upper, one club higher. So instead of 9 iron, I will play 8 iron, because in this situation, my 8 iron will become 9 iron. That 8 iron will behave like 9 iron. 9 iron. Okay. So similarly, uh, in the condition like this, when the ball is sitting on the downhill lie. Okay, downhill lie means my right shoulder is above than my left shoulder. I'm standing like this. In this kind of situation, what will happen? The ball will start low. Okay, so if I'm playing with 8 iron on in this lie, I got a distance to play with 8 iron. But that 8 iron will behave like 7 iron. Why? Because the ball flight will be low and the ball will travel a lot after landing on the ground because of low height. So in this situation, I will pick my 9 iron, okay, and play the shot instead of 8 iron. So it will give me good height also, okay. Plus it will behave like 8 iron, okay. So this is another kind of situation where you need to make a right club selection. Then apart from these things, Then comes weather. Okay, in what type of weather you are playing. Suppose if you are playing in monsoon, in monsoon the weather becomes heavy. Okay, because of moisture. Okay, in the wind. So, so what happened? The ball does not travel much. So in that situation, you might you might need to play with a club which is little which gives you little more distance than a regular club you play. For example, you are playing 7 iron. You have got the distance to play with 7 iron, but you have seen that the weather is heavy. It is a monsoon weather. It's a rainy weather. So you might have to play with 6 iron instead of 7 iron. So similarly in the winter or in summer the air is lighter. Okay, the moisture is not there. The atmosphere, the climate is not too heavy. So in that type of season, uh, the ball travels a lot, and the ground also become hard. In the monsoon, the ground will be soft. The ball will not roll much. But in summer or in winters, the ground become hard. In winter afternoon, I'm saying, when we play in the afternoon in winter, the ground become dry and they become hard. So when the ground will be dry, when the green will be dry, the ball will roll a lot. So in this type of situation, again, you might have to play with the club, one club shorter. So suppose where you got to play with 7 iron, in this type of situation, you will have to use 8 iron. So like this, we make a club selection. Okay, so the weather, the climate also plays a role, comes into play when it comes to make a club selection. Okay, so we have talked about weather, and I think okay. Then also there is situation around the green. Okay, if we talk about short game. Okay, so in short game also you may have to make a club selection. In chipping, let's say we are chipping from around the green. Okay, now you are playing a chip uh, in a uh, in a situation where you have to uh, hit the ball on the green, and there is enough green to roll the ball towards the flag or towards the hole. Okay, so when you are chipping, you find that the flag is located. The flag is the hole is situated in that area where you get to where there is enough green to work upon. Okay, where the ball after landing on the green, you have enough green to make the ball roll towards the hole. So in this situation, obviously it will be good to play a club. Uh, Obviously it will be good to play a chip and run shot or roll chip shot. So roll chip shot will happen with the help of a lower lofted club like pitching wedge, 9 iron. Okay. So always you don't have to chip with a high lofted club like sandwich, like lob wedge. Okay. So you have to see the situation, what type of chip or what type of pitch shot the situation is demanding from you. If there is lot, if the flag is far enough on the green, that you have enough green between you and the flag, and you feel that you can roll the ball towards the hole, you have to pick. You should pick a low lofted club and chip the ball, and the ball will ball will not travel in the air too much. It will just come out and drop at some certain distance, and after that it will start rolling towards the hole. That is an easier shot. That is an easier shot to play when you have enough room to play. But there is a situation where the location of the hole is too close to the edge of the green. Okay, where you don't get enough green to make the ball roll, and there you get to stop the ball as early as possible when it lands on the green. In that situation, you will pick a high lofted club. Okay, so these are the situations which make you do the club selection. Okay, so where do you require a high lofted club? Where do you require a low lofted club? Again, here what we have seen. Are we going to play a roll chip, or are we going to play a high chip? For a high chip, you have to play a high lofted club. For a low chip, roll chip, you have to select the low lofted club. So this is the uh, you know, this is the way how do you calculate your shot. How do you figure out what type of shot you are going to play, and then you make the club selection. Okay. So these were some few examples. Basically, you get to face while playing at the golf course. I'll give you one more example. If you are playing from a bunker, which is very soft, so how do you figure out the bunker is very soft? When you dig your feet into the bunker, and your feet dig deep into the bunker, it means that bunker is soft. So I already told you a soft lie or soft bunker requires a high lofted club, because the club slides easily under the ball in that kind of lie. Okay. And sometimes what happens when during the monsoon bunkers get wet, it becomes hard. So when it becomes hard, the rather than playing a high lofted club, you can play a slightly lower lofted club to hit the ball from the bunker. Okay. So there also you can make a club selection. Or sometimes in the bunker, what happened? Generally, suppose if I will talk about myself, generally I choose lob wedge, a high lofted club, because I want the ball to stop as early as possible after landing on the green. But it is not always possible. Okay, why? Because if I get to play a bunker shot, which is a long distance bunker shot. Long distance bunker shot means I am playing around the green, but the location of the green is far away. Okay, okay, from myself, the ball is the hole is pretty much far away in the green. Okay, I have seen that I have enough green to work upon. Then I can instead of playing uh, lob wedge, I can choose sand wedge or a pitching wedge for that matter to make the ball go low in the air and make it roll after landing on the green. So again, depends upon how far the uh, hole is the uh, from the edge of the green. How much green I have actually. How much green I have to let the ball drop on the green and make it roll. So that is also a kind of situation where you have to make club selection. So these are all the situations I have discussed. You generally get to play, generally get to encounter while playing at the golf course, and according to them, you make a club selection. So that's all from my part. So if you have any query, you can ask me. So otherwise, we will wind up the session. If you have any question, anyone of you, please feel free to ask the question. Then we will wind up the session. Is there any question, guys?
So apparently there are no questions.
Okay. Okay, all right. Then let's wind up the session here. See you in
Okay,
next
sir.
session. Okay. Thank you for attending the session. Thank you, Sipanna. Let's
Thank you,
wind up.
sir.